Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Please forgive me if my voice doesn't sound up to par right now. I am a little bit sick, so if I take a lot of breaks in between this video to talk about certain things, just take that into consideration. So, today we're going to be trying out Airjapes' tactics for the 4-2-3-1 wide. I asked him for his tactics because 4-2-3-1 wide usually tends to be the formation that is one of the most balanced, whether it's the wide one or the narrow one, because you have a balance of you have a back four, so you have your fullbacks, not a back three where people can exploit the fullback area very easily. You have the two CDMs to basically cover the middle as much as possible, depending on which types of CDMs you get. You could get two medium highs, one that's a high-low like a Pogba, and then you could get someone like Conte or Lerma, who are medium-high center defensive mids. And then you have the left mids, right mids to exploit the fullback area of the opponent's defense with that formation or the 4-2-3-1 narrow. And then you have the striker to either get in behind or whatever it is you choose to do. So, with Airjapes' instructions, here's what his tactics and instructions are, right? So he plays on balance and balance, so he doesn't play on drop back for the defense, nor does he play on pressure on heavy touch or press after possession loss. His players are unbalanced, right? He sets it to 5 and 4 for the defense, right? So I'm pretty sure that's 5 width, 4 depth. And then on the attack, he has 6-5-2-2. So 6 width, 5 in terms of players in the box, 2 in terms of free kicks and corners, right? His striker is set to stay forward, get in behind, stay forward, free roam, conservative for the cam. For the left mids and the right mids, he has get in behind, stay wide. For his right center defensive mid, or his right defensive mid, he has stay back. And I'll give you an example of what team he has as well. And for his left backs and right backs, he has them to overlap. So he doesn't have them on stay back while attacking, he has them on overlap. I'm not sure if he puts cover center for the CDMs, but I feel like that's like the generic thing that you probably should do to cover the CDMs. Or maybe he doesn't, because his CDMs might occupy the fullback area if the fullbacks actually do overlap and attack whenever they want to, right? So, what's my verdict on these instructions and tactics? To be honest with you, it's a good variation of a tactic to have if you need to attack, right? Because you have the left mids and the right mids are staying wide, exploring the fullback area, getting in behind the fullback area. You have the cams to stay forward, free roam, conservative. So the free roam allows them to kind of make different runs around the pitch too. So they don't stay in the middle. They will make the run. They will try to exploit the space that they think is open. And then you obviously have your strikers to get in behind and stay forward, right? So a lot of very aggressive attacking. He only has one of his CDMs to stay back. So with his team, he actually has a team of the year: Lionel Messi, Luis Figo, Dembele, De Jong, Mateus, Royce, Talifico, Ta, Marquinhos, Dani Alves, and Neuer. So obviously the way that he sets up with a 4-2-3-1 wide is probably Messi striker, Cam as a Royce is probably the Cam card. Luis Figo's probably on the right side, Dembele on the left. He probably plays De Jong and Mateus as his two CDMs. I would assume that he probably plays his... I'm going to assume and say that his De Jong is the one that attacks. I'm going to see what his work rates are just to make sure here. So De Jong's work rates. Frankie De Jong. It's not De Jong. Is it? It is De Jong. De Jong. Frankie De Jong. He is 85 pace. Work rates are medium, and then his Mateus is high. So he probably wants to have the stay back while attacking on his Mateus because of the work rates, because his work rates will kind of overthrow that tactic, and he'll still progressively push forward because that's just his characteristics. And then De Ligt, obviously, with good dribbling, pace, shooting, and passing, or not De Ligt, but De Jong, it's a good card to have up there in the CDM area. But the general verdict of this formation and tactic is, if you're talking about it from a sense of playing with it the entire game, it's not really for me. It is for me in terms of the attack. If I realize that they're exploiting their fullback area, they're overcommitting in a lot of different areas. If they overcommit with their attack, I can do the same and overcommit with my attack to score opportunities. But in a general sense, I feel like when you play this game, it revolves more about being a defensive-minded person rather than a attacking-minded person. I don't think you get rewarded enough for being an attacking-minded person, especially if your gameplay doesn't feel up to par. You're not going to be able to do those little quick dribbles that you're able to do with players like Team of the Year Messi, like consistently, because he can still do it in bad gameplay, but just not as quickly as he can in good gameplay. Dembele will do the same thing where he'll be really fast in the dribbles. Luis Figo is probably going to feel a little bit questionable in bad gameplay, but he will have the physical presence. But in a general sense, I think after 3 games, I did change. And I'll explain why I changed, right? So he has the tactics set for getting behind and stay wide for the fullbacks and then overlap for the fullbacks. So as I was playing, I realized that it didn't really feel like it was worth telling my fullbacks to overlap because nothing would come of it. I don't really cross the ball, and I don't think Japes does either because he doesn't really have people that can win the ball in the air unless he's crossing it to Luis Figo. It didn't really feel like it was worth having the fullback to overlap and for him to stay on a balanced attacking and defensive instructions. With the CDM, it didn't feel like it was worth it to have the extra attacking presence with one of the CDMs. Because I think, for me personally, when I have stay back while attacking and cover center, they still attack, but they play more to their work rates than they do freely. Or that doesn't really make much sense. So let's just say, for instance, Paul Pogba, because I think in this draft, for instance, I was using Paul Pogba as one of my CDMs, right? He was the one that was the attacking oriented player, right? I allowed him to get forward, although he doesn't have the pace. Not really similar to De Ligt because De Ligt has 85, whereas Pogba has like 77, right? So it's a big difference in that regard. But it didn't really feel like it was worth having Paul Pogba push up and then for someone to be able to counterattack so easily against me every single time, because it didn't really feel like it was worth putting the extra attacking presence, especially if someone was really exploiting their defensive AI, using manual goalkeeping, so on and so forth. So it wasn't really for me after, I think, 2 or 3 games. I switched up a lot of things. I think in the 3rd or the 4th game, again, it's a good tactic to have for the attacking, but I switched it to my balance afterwards, and I'll let you guys know after what it was. But it's a good attacking formation. Again, if you want to be able to exploit certain areas of the pitch when you notice that they're overcommitting on certain players, then you could do the same thing and overcommit with your players, right? So yes, the extra presence in the CDM area, them attacking, I didn't really feel like it was necessary. I feel like it's more necessary for them to be more defense-oriented, stay back while attacking, cover center, stuff like that. For the cam, he had it set to free roam, stay forward, and conservative interception. So conservative interceptions, he probably doesn't want to like waste a lot of stamina on that, but obviously defensive AI stamina isn't like affected too much. But the free roam is good if you want your players to make those extra attacking runs because they're more free to be able to do whatever they want. But I didn't feel like it was worth it. I actually thought stick to position was better because my build-up is probably different to Japes's, because my build-up revolves around me going to the left mid, right mid area, transitioning back to the fullback area, going to the CDMs, and then transitioning back into the middle. That's how I play. So having my CDMs commit forward and then having no passing presence in the midfield was kind of a downfall for me, and I didn't really like it in general when they weren't in those general positions. Again, left mids and right mids were getting in behind, the striker was getting in behind, so as I was progressing forward, players were running away from me rather than me controlling them to make those runs, because as you guys know, if you guys spam LB and aim in the direction of certain players in the pitch, they will make those runs for you. So I like having my left mids and right mids unbalanced because they decide whether they want to stay wide or, you know, cut inside. And the reason why I like that more is because it kind of makes your play less predictable. If you notice that someone is only getting in behind, staying out wide against you, it's easier to predict that, and they never cut inside the middle to offer an extra attacking presence in the middle, right? So that's also another thing that I noticed. So it's just the transitioning build-up play that I wasn't a huge fan of. The formation or the tactics that I ended up changing to, I believe afterwards, were stay back while attacking for the fullback. I didn't have overlap for them. I just had them on stay back while attacking. The CDMs were on stay back while attacking and cover center. The cam was set to balanced, and yeah, he was set to balanced. I didn't touch him because I had Team of the Year Kevin De Bruyne, and he is amazing in this game because he actually has defense and physical stats. So that helps so much in that cam department, because if I want to switch to a defensive minded formation where I tell him to come back in defense, he'll do a good job of that as well. But I did have him on balance and stick to position. I felt that was better for me personally. I also had him on stay on the edge of the box because of my play style. Like I said, I don't cross the ball, so when I cut back, go back to the fullback, go back into the middle, Cam De Bruyne is always in a really good position after that. So I feel like stay on the edge of the box was a preferable choice for me. Something that I've actually been experimenting with a lot in the left mid, right mid department is telling them to stay on the edge of the box for the cross because it allows me to make an extra pass to them and then for them to transition back inside with a fake shot for me to get a shot off, right? Because if they are set to get in behind for a cross, they might already be behind enemy lines or your opponent's defense, so you don't really have much of attacking opportunities. You always have to go back and wait for them to come back into position unless you spam the RB for them to come close to you. But then it kind of takes too much time, and the dribbling emphasis sometimes slows you down at times. And then so the cam I put on balance. The striker, depending on my opponent, I either put on stay central or balance. Didn't touch him at all. Didn't tell him to get in behind. Like I said, I like dictating the runs that my players make. Like if I realize that he's in a good position to make a run, I will spam LB to make him make that run instead of him always making that run, because I don't like when they go away from me when I need that extra support in the middle of the pitch. In regards to the tactics, for the defense, sometimes I switch the width from a 5 to a 4, depending on the opponent that I was playing again, right? The width on the attack, I switched to a 5 instead of a 6. I thought it was I thought it was far too wide. I didn't really feel like it was rewarding enough. So I switched it to a 5 or a 4. So that way, when I lose possession of the ball, right, when they come at me in the defensive front, I'm still more congested in the middle, right? Because that's where all my attack was going. It doesn't have to transition from a wide attack to a narrow attack. And then I kept it on balance and balance because I don't want to abuse the game mechanics, because that's just annoying as fuck to do. So that's why I like that Japes doesn't play to abuse mechanics, because these tactics are very unique, very different. People do not use this stuff at all, right? And he still does work with it. So that's why I always ask people that don't abuse the game mechanics for their tactics, because it's fun that way to play football like you would in real life. So, and that's how Japes always plays. So that's why I liked asking for his tactics. But if I do end up making a regular team with the 4-2-3-1, I probably have his tactics as my attacking tactic. And then I'll have mine for the balance and defense and ultra defense. And then the ultra attacking will be obviously just committing forward to get the ball back and so on and so forth. So good attack. It's good tactics to have for the attack, but it doesn't really seem worth it for the general game in general, right? Because it just feels like it's more defensive oriented. But that's going to conclude the video for today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop a thumbs up on it. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And I will catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys. Alright, guys, let's check out what we get in our rewards. My last 2 games were good gameplay, so I actually had a lot of fun trying out the formation. Because the game actually didn't feel like garbage. So let's go check out to see what we get in our packs. These are just like the random stuff. I don't know what these are right now. Premium gold packs. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's see what we get. Let's see. Okay, so no boards in that one. We'll skip right past that. Skip right past that. Gonna quick sell this. No boards for that. Keep it going, keep it going. We'll put these on the market afterwards. Drafts are definitely not profitable though, man. Been losing a lot of, you could tell you lose a lot of money from this. But it's still the best game mode in the game, which says a lot, to be honest. Let's see what we get. What we get. Okay. Hopefully the rare gold packs give us something good. These packs happen quite often than people think. Very rarely do you actually get like the really good packs, like the 50Ks or anything like that. 50Ks would be acceptable for sure. Never know though, man. We actually might be getting something good. Okay. Apparently Luigi Nani went to Orlando City, which is pretty cool too. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Probably not gonna get a single board, to be honest, knowing how drafts usually go. And we get boards. Wow. Dutch, striker, fast Ost. Sounds about right. That's our awards, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, my dudes.